Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will learn how to make a space shooter game using MIT Scratch. So to start with, let's pick up our characters first. So for that, I will go to Google and just search for Alien Spaceship 2D. Just make sure you add the word 2D, otherwise you will get all sort of movie references here. So for this game, I will be picking, let's say this character, this sprite. So I'm going to copy the image. I'll go to remove BG, get rid of the background. So what I did, I copied the image and I pasted it here. So as you can see, the background is gone. Let's download this. This will be my main character. So I will upload it in my Scratch game. I think this is the one. No, this is the other character that I downloaded. Yeah. Okay, so this is my character. Let's rotate it. Let's set it to minus 90 degrees and I'm going to keep it here. Now let's start with the character movements. So for this, I'll be picking my green flag. I will go to the control section and pick up my if block. Then from sensing, I'm going to pick up key left arrow is pressed. So whenever I press the left arrow, I want the X axis to decrease. So just to give you an idea, I will open the XY grid. So my character is right here. And if I wanted to go left, as you can see, the X axis is decreasing in this. So I'll be picking change X by minus 10. You can keep it minus 10, minus 5. The bigger the number, the faster it'll go. And then I want this logic to listen to me forever. So like when I click on the green flag, it's forever waiting for me to press the left arrow. The moment I press it, the character starts going towards the left hand side. Now I'm going to duplicate this, do the same thing with the right arrow, and done. Change X by 10. Now my character can go left and right. Let's reduce the size of the character a bit. So it's at 60. Now, if you want, you can also add the code to make it go up and down. So I'll show you, but I won't be keeping it in my game. So for this, I'm going to add up arrow, but the axis is definitely going to change. If you see in this case, it's the Y axis which increases. And when it comes down, it's the Y axis which decreases. You can see the X is 0 and Y is 0 in the middle. But when you're coming down, the X remains the same. It's 0. But the value of Y comes from 0 to minus 180. So, and in this case, for the up arrow, it's Y from 0 to positive 180. So I'm going to swap out the blocks. I will be picking change Y by for it, change Y by 10. And for down arrow, I will be keeping change Y by minus 10. So this way my character can go in all 4 directions. Let's pick up a good background for it. Let's go to space. Let's pick up the stars background. No, it's too dark. The character is not properly visible. This seems to be okay. So now for our game, let's pick up enemy spaceship. So again, I'll do the same thing. Copy the image, come back here, remove the background. And done. I'm going to download it. Let's add it in Scratch. So now let's reduce the size of the enemy. I'm going to keep it around 35. Yeah, this seems to be okay. So I'll place it here. Now what I want is that I want both of the sprites, basically the enemy sprite and my player sprite, which I'm going to control with the left arrow up arrow. I want both of them to shoot. So in this, I will be keeping a code, where this goes from left to right at a random speed and it keeps on shooting bullets at me. So let's start with the enemy movements. I'm going to keep it on the extreme left hand side of my screen. I'll pick up a glide block. Just make sure your game is stopped and it's not on the play mode. Otherwise it's going to mess up the coordinates. Now I will do the same thing. I will pick up my extreme right hand side. And as you can see, the coordinates have changed and I'm going to pick up a glide block for this. Just make sure you keep your Y axis the same. So I'm going to put Y as 133 because I only want the X, only the left and right to change and not the Y. So I'm keeping it same and the X changes. Now I'm going to place this block inside of forever, add a green flag on top of it, and let's see. So the character goes left to right. It's a little too fast. It's because of the time that we have provided. So basically this time means like how much time do you want to allocate to this character from one point to the other. So it's 1 seconds each right now. I'm going to keep it a little random. So for this, I will go to operators. I will pick a random block and place it here. This will be a good touch so you know your game doesn't become predictable. So I'm going to pick random 1 to 2 seconds in both. So sometimes it's going to be slow, sometimes it's going to be super fast, so you cannot predict the movements. And this is it. Our enemy movements are ready, and our player movement is also ready. Some sort of laser or like something that you're going to shoot. I think I'll go with the first photo only since it's offering 3 different colors. So I'll copy the image, add it in my remove BG. Let's wait. This looks okay. I'm going to download this. Again, same procedure, upload it in Scratch. Let's say, yeah. So I have this, but obviously I don't need these 3 characters. So I'm going to make new sprites, paint. I'm going to name this one as player's laser. And in the player's laser, I will be picking, let's say, this blue one. So I'm going to select this with my mouse. You can simply copy it, come back here and paste it. So this is my player's laser. Similarly, I'm going to make one for my enemy. So enemy laser. For this one, I will be picking this purple. So I'll copy this and again come back to enemy and paste it here. Make sure you align this plus so the sprite stays in the center. And then I can just turn this off so it's not there on the screen. So now if you observe, I have 2 different lasers. I have this enemy laser and my player laser. Let's reduce the size because it's literally as big as the spaceship. So I'm going to keep it 40 or 50. You know, you can just make it a little more thicker. I think the length, the height is completely fine. The width is a bit too small. So I'm going to stretch it a little. Just don't do it too much. Otherwise it's going to look weird. Same thing with the enemy laser. Stretch this a bit. Keep it in the middle. Let's also keep this around 40. So first let's start with the player's laser. So make sure you're on the player's laser and then you click on the code. So for this, again, I'll be picking my green flag, if statement, and from sensing, I'll pick up key space pressed. Then I want this to go up. So again, if you remember the initial movement setup for this code, it's the y-axis which increases, when the character goes or when any sprite goes up. So I'm going to pick up change y by 10 in this case. And I'm going to add a forever. So it forever listens to this command. So if I do this much, I can see it's going up, but I have to hold the space key and this is not natural. So first thing, I will be adding a repeat block right here. And I'm also going to add like a starting point. So when I press the space bar, I want this laser to start from my player. So for this, I will go to motion and I'm going to pick this block, go to random position. I will change this random position to my player. So let's change the name. This is my player. This is my enemy. So I'm back on the laser. So go to player. So what's going to happen now? First, this laser will go to the player and then it will launch up. Let's check. It looks okay, but the distance is way too less. So I'm going to increase it to 35 maybe. Let's see. Looks good, but it's a little slow. So let's increase the speed. Basically, it's going to travel, 15 steps 35 times. So to compensate for that, I'm going to reduce the distance back to 30. So this laser stays on the screen. Yeah. And now if you see the laser kind of is stuck there, right? So let's make sure, that we hide it once it reaches up. So for that, I'm inside the look section. I will be picking the hide block. And once the repeat is over, I'm going to put a hide block right there. So let's test it. It goes up, it hides. Great. But the next time when I press the space bar, it's not coming back. That's because I need a show block as well. So the moment it goes to the player, then it should be visible, it should go up, and then it should hide. So let's test it again. I'm going to move my player. This looks nice. I can just shoot it from anywhere. So you have to kind of plan that your enemy reaches and then you hit the laser, and it should definitely touch the enemy. So, well, that's all about the player's laser. Now let's start with the enemy laser. So for this, again, I'm inside the enemy laser sprite. So this is not going to be similar to this code, because in this one, I was actually controlling it with the space bar. But in this one, we want it to be a little more automatic. So I'm going to pick up a green flag, again, a forever, because I want this code to work all the time. And again, a go to. So first thing that I want, that this laser should always start from wherever the enemy is. And I'm just going to apply the reverse logic. So in this case, it was going up, change y by 15. And if you're guessing it that is going to be change y by minus 15, then you're right. So I'm going to keep it change y by minus 15. I'll keep the same repeat block to avoid that issue that it doesn't move. So 15 times, done. Let's test it. This looks nice. So the player is shooting me. The laser is definitely hitting, but it's not coming all the way towards the bottom. So for that, I'm going to increase the repeat to maybe 18. Yeah, this looks good. So well, it's all set. Now all we have to do is build up like a health system, like scores, and then we're done, and maybe some sounds. So I'll go to lasers, I'll go to my laser, and I will go to sounds. So there's a very nice sound available in Scratch which will go with this theme, and it's literally pew. So if you can hear this sounds really cool for this game. So I'm going to add it. Whenever I press the space bar, I want this pew sound to come. So I will be picking the start sound block whenever this is, visible and it starts going up. So let's try. You can do the same thing if you want to add it on the enemy. I'm not adding it because I feel it'll be too distracting. It's going to keep on shooting, so there will be a constant sound. But that's completely your preference. If you prefer that, you can add it. So now is the time to set up the health code. So for the player health, I will be adding the code inside the enemy laser. So in case you're wondering, why am I adding player health code inside the enemy laser? It's because enemy's laser is responsible to increase and decrease the player's health. So I will be creating a variable, player's health, done. So when green flag clicked, that means when the game starts, I want the player health to be, let's say 5. It's totally your call how much you want to keep it. And every time this laser touches my player, I want the health to go down. So again, I'll go to sensing. If this laser touches the player, change player's health by -1. Make sure you do the -1, otherwise the health will start increasing and you won't get the desired results. And I want this to happen all the time. So let's keep a forever block right there. Done. Let's check. So I click on the green flag and the player health, whoops. So it starts from 5. The moment the laser touches me, it goes down very quickly and it becomes negative. So let's take care of this part. So basically what's happening, this laser touches so many times in a millisecond, because it's a pixel by pixel comparison. So I have to make sure that we slow this down. So I'm going to add a wait 1 second to compensate for this. Now let's try again. So now this code will make sure that I only lose 1 health in 1 second, not more than that. So I'm going to intentionally get hurt in this. -1, -2. So now we still have to take care of the minus part. Well, that's very easy. Again, you're going to add an if block. Just make sure you do this properly. For simplicity, I think it's best to make it in a new block. So when green flag is clicked, forever, if, and I will go inside my health variable, player's health, and I'm going inside the operators for the comparisons. So I'll pick up this block and I will write if player's health is lesser than 1. Well, that means the game is over. So you're supposed to stop it. So if player's health is lesser than 1, let's say, let's go to the control section and stop all. Let's stop the game. So let's see if this is working. Okay. Again, getting intentionally hurt in this, and the game stops. So that's exactly what I wanted. Now we will build the same thing, but for the enemy health. And as you guessed it, we're going to build it on the player's laser. So let's create a new variable, enemy health. Done. So again, when the game starts, when green flag is clicked, I want the enemy health. So let's make it a little challenging. Enemy will have double the health that I have. And let's arrange these variables. So I'm going to keep the player health somewhere here. If it's distracting, you can double click on it and reduce it to a single digit. I think we can do the same thing for the enemy, keeping the number over here. So set enemy health to 10 when the game starts, and same logic forever. If this laser touches, sorry, I picked the wrong block. If this laser touches enemy, then I want enemy health to go down by 1. And making sure, wait 1 second, so you don't reduce the health too many times in a given frame or in a given second. And that's it. One more logic, that if the health, let's say, of the enemy reduces, so same logic as the player health one. If the enemy health reduces and goes below 1, then in that case, I'm going to hide the enemy. That's all. And we will play a fun winning sound. So let's go to sounds. Let's search for a win sound. And I'm going to add it. So let's go to sounds, start sound, win. And then the enemy hides. Let's try this. So now everything is ready and it's time to test it. So, okay, so I see an issue the moment we started. My laser is kind of getting in the way and it's reducing the enemy health. So let's also add one more thing, that whenever the game starts, the lasers are hidden. Both the lasers are hidden. So when put it under any green flag. So put it under any green flag. Yeah, no issues now. I can beat it. Okay, so since we added like an enemy laser hide, let's not forget to add a show block also. So go to enemy and show. Otherwise, we are just giving ourselves an unfair advantage. And you will always win the game that way. So it's working. It's 3. Okay, it's a very tight competition. We both are at 3-2. I'm sure I'm going to win it. So I hope you enjoyed. That's all for now. Please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.